Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Napoleonic Wars, and we're in with the fine 68th and their Monday line battle. And thanks, obviously, to the 68th for inviting me, and of course, all these regiments for attending. So let's have a look at them, shall we? On the United Kingdom side, and it's the United Kingdom versus the Austrians. Yes, those dastardly ostriches are back. So we have the 2nd, you see lots of the 68th. We can see that's, yeah, the GC in there as well. And you can see that pretty much, yeah, there we go. That's kind of the norm for these guys. Anyway. So, as they've all spawned in a bush, as all these Austrians wrestle with their bush, you can see them all moving into position on this fine deserty map with, let's face it, lots of sand and sun and sky, and yeah, that's about it really. So let's see who's over here. This is the 2nd Regiment. Look at that, recruit epic. Fine name, must be said in that way, obviously. And there is Pinpoint Palpon Pack. Oh good god, my mouth is now in a truss. Thank you, Pin, you bastard. And here from the 1st LVN, I think it's, yeah, ELVN, maybe Elvens, who's to know? It's the Bucks Bunny. And here's Mr. Robin. Look at him, doesn't he look great? So, drummage, we hear fine drumming from Volunteer Scarlet from the 1st Brigade. Now, there you can see the 1st Brigade, the 95th. They are covering the artillery. Look at these fine fellows. Engineering goodness from RFM Charlie. Look at this. Fine earthenworks, sir. Fine earthenworks. We shall monitor his digging progress over the course of the battle. And there's Frederick. And who's this, a commander? Private Bjorken. So, I hear cannonballs. I'm hearing cannonballs. Anyway, as Merc Scott from the arty, the 68th arty is claimed with a cannonball. A fine shot, and he lasted less than 2 minutes. Oh dear. Oh well. Oh my goodness, there's horses. Look out, boys and girls. We have clippity-clops. And here from the 16th, the Fusiliers. Sorry, the Hussars. Huzzah! It's the Hussars. Look at these fine fellows who can't put a jacket on properly. Dan the Nugget from the Hussars. The 16th, and he's got his horn out. He's got his horn out. Dan's blowing his horn. Yeah, let's say not too much about that, shall we? So, let's go and have a look around to see what's going on. Ah, here from the 1st ELVN, Adjutant Faggot. Which obviously, for those of you know, is juicy pork balls in gravy. Now, Mr. MJ Robin. And look at the headbangers. There's Bucks Bunny, an Archwolf, and the other silly members. Oh my goodness, there's more. These look like they are riflemen. 2nd Lieutenant for Lubal from the 2nd. And cannonballs taking out more members of the 2nd. Courtesy of Ragnar. And here's Ominous at the back. And the rifle shooting going out while their left flank is covered rather admirably by the 2nd Regiment. So, they've got their skirmishes up there. Now, if we look over to the right-hand side, you can see pushing the point, or pushing the general direction, quite efficiently. The Baker Rifleman from the 7th QR. There's ACDC headbanging as he should. Cheesy Feet Rifleman. We'll move away from him as he's starting to smell a little bit. Sergeant William. And these Baker Riflemen have the range at which they can chop down the enemy with fine rifle fire. However, fortunately for them, they are supported by line troops on their right flank. Now these fine foot, you can see there, Clem from the GC, the 1st TRG, and also the 68th Lights in there as well. Aha! We have horses. The 68th Hussars. Lance Corporal, on. Who's this at the end? Veteran Trooper Hengelford. And there. Look at this. Fine fellows from the RRA. The 2nd Scots. And there's Yiddy. And it's a commanding officer. It's Franson from the 2nd Scottish. I'll call them Scots, it's easier. From the RRA. Which just makes me want to say rah rah rah. But never mind. Okay, so let's find out what's going on. As these guys have a pretty good layout right now. So you've got lights who are covering the left flank. You've got standard soldiers in the middle. And you've got clippity-clops sort of in the middle covering the right as well. So, oh my goodness. Fort Derp. Fort Derp is being built for the artillerymen of the ostrich army. Oh my goodness, look at that face. Ragnar there with his spyglass, checking to see what's going on. Getting ready to fire the cannon. Spyglassing. His officer there. Let's have a look. It's Colonel Skye. Doesn't she look buxom today? And away goes the cannon. And look at this. The 95th claiming Fusilier Bilbo. Oh dear. Poor Bilbo. You can see him somewhere around here. Recently claimed. There we go. There's a good chance that's him. But it looks like the 68th are having a little bit of a run-in. Oh my goodness. What is going on here? I guess this is the derpier of the Fort Derps. Courtesy of the artillery section. As it's being attacked by the 16th Hussars. And these members of the 2nd. You can see the 4B. There's Mickey. There's Tossergen. And there's Felix. And look at this. These guys defending themselves. Oh my goodness. There's a man with a strange hat on. Look out. It's SS. S. 99. So, these guys doing a good job of defending themselves. What's going on over here? A nice bunker. Huzzah! Well, thank you. And let's find out what's going on. As Cannoneer Diatide of the 68th. Continue to fire back. There is Katisha. And Mickey from the 4B, the 2nd, 4th. Cannon away! Look at that. The cannonball goes flying. Just pinches Shadow off at the back there of the 2nd. And the fire comes back into the 2nd. Oh, look at that. The 2nd TE or the 2 TE versus the 2nd. Lovely stuff. So you can just snip the back off the line there. A tad unfortunate. But we hear bagpipery. The fearsome bagpipery that wail across the sands. And here's the 2nd. There's Cohen. And there's Recruit Algo. And there's Mood. And there's Private Hullen. So the guys... And who's this joining them? It's Dutchy. And obviously passing on the left-hand side. As O.C. William. Officer commanding, I guess, of the 2nd. And we've lost Little Cheese, Fusilier of the 68th. Unfortunately, he got sliced with a cannonball. So the cheese is no more. The cheese has melted. It's bad news for all cheese lovers. Now, bagpipery coming in from Battle Sergeant Athelston. From the 68th. Now, let's go and have a look as Bucks Bunny with a nice kill. What is going on? No, don't kick me. I'm the only spectator. Oh, well, actually, technically, that's not true. So, just basically make sure they don't kick me. And here we go. And down goes Major Norwegian of the Hussars. Norwegian is finished off. That makes it sound a little bit dodgy, but never mind. We'll gloss over it. As here is Sergeant Bradders of the RRA. I'm guessing 1st Battalion. There's Pickle. And over on the right, Turtle Sloth. What a fine name, sir. Papoli. And there's Wallace. And Aaron So. Thank you, Ram. How very kind of you. So these guys engaging the enemy. And here they are. As we sneak in on the ostriches. You can see a little bit of spy work being done by Robin. from the 1st LVN or 1VN. And there's old Mr. Adjutant Porkballs. Cheese Hunter. In fact, this is Cheese Hunter 3. Previous versions of Cheese Hunting were not permitted. Oh, look out. These guys are going to come under a little bit of fire now. Sergeant Bradders from the RRA, and they've backed off. So these guys are backing away as the QOR are taking some damage from the rifles. Oh, look at this. Second Lieutenant Sam defending himself against the attacks of Recruit Kebab from the QOR. And a fine murderization by Kebab. Skewered him right through the middle, aptly so under the circumstances. So Kebab defends himself. Goes in for the block and attack high. Look at that. Quick defense, goes in for the nasty stab. His opponent is now bleeding like a stuck pig. And now Kebab is also bleeding. He goes in for that quick attack high and doesn't block the low. Kebab is no more. Ouch, so is Lawrence. Murdered horribly. So, making his way up the top. Terror moves in with the other members of the Lights and the Skirmishers. Pretty much mostly the Skirmishers. So those guys are going to probably stick together. And it looks like they may have lost the Corporal of Horse Bobu. As we're looking at the 1st Brigade here, the defensive position of the artillery. With a random horsey. It's macaroni and cheese planned. It's all about the macaroni and the cheese. And the slicing. And down goes Colonel Sky, murdered brutally by Bellycloth. We're watching Bellycloth now in one of the lights. And Belly is no more. Belly is now distended and dead. So, let's find out what's going on, as there is 51st working together with Aquilia, gunner of the 2nd. And over here, Paul Dillon of the 95th. So, those guys seem to be doing okay. They don't have many defences around them, but we'll have to wait and see how it works out for them. Cheesy Feet is here at the back, surprisingly for Cheesy Feet. As we've got Sergeant William and the other members of the Baker Riflemen moving up under the command of Major Polar. Doesn't she look lovely? So, let's go and have a look around. Frederick of the 95th. And Ram Chang of the 2nd. Now, those guys still alive right now. Except for maybe Sideways Snat, who just got shot. But, you know, these are details that we'll gloss over. As we're watching Matuz, one of the NCOs, I think, of the 2nd. So let's have a look at these guys now firing back as Athelston from the 68th RT is taken down by the 2nd line. Now, where are they, I wonder? Aha! We spot gentlemen in the desert. Ho! Cannonball! Love it. As you can see, the man with the spyglass there, Yid, making his way out. And the other gentleman with the spyglass, working with Wallace and the other members of the RRA. It is Sergeant Bradders in officer uniform with that fine moustache. And it looks like the 2nd have just lost their colonel. Curly O'Connor is no longer Curly. So, let's find out what's going on. What's going on over here? It looks like they're trying to finish off the remainder of this defensive team. In the middle of the artillery Fort Derp. It's kind of Fort Poke, really, or Fort Point, I guess. We could call it Artillery Point, because there's lots of points. And it's by the artillery. So, Felix comes in after the skirmishers, going in for the important bayonet thrust. And gets the kill. Fine kill, but all of a sudden, the reinforcements from the Austrian army have arrived. They're being flocked by ostriches right now. Ouch! Poor old Jaden gets murdered. And the flag is taken by Felix. Now being followed by the Austrian army. He's taking a little bit of damage. His mentor gets taken down. And Felix has made it back to the loving arms of his defenders. As the other members, as Alucard shot down by Clemem. Or Clemlem. You can see these guys defending it as best they can. But the place is being overrun by those dirty ostriches. Evil ostriches, all of them. But now they've been forced to flee. For reasons like these riflemen, who are not really designed for the line battle, but now as a result of the line troops going after them, forcing them to flee. The likes of Hulin, hoping to get an important stab on one of them, goes for the officer. Now under attack by 3 men. Can Hulin defend himself? Manages to avoid a shot. Hulin being diddled by rifle butts and bayonets. Going in for the man with the bayonet. Hulin takes another stab. And a kill there by Hulin. Until he finally falls. Courtesy of Clem. As cannonballs continue to bounce around. And so, it's the charge. Now, let's see. Who's this gentleman? It's Warwick. And here is Voluble, second lieutenant, and mercenary Polka. And these guys are being chased by Polar of the 7QR, ACDC also of the 7QR, here also Felix. And it looks like Jenkins couldn't take any more and killed Cadet Fritz. So there's obviously a murder-suicide pact going on out there. And here is where the murdering has occurred. And there we go. A nice kill by Epic onto Bradders. And Octi then murders poor old Recruit Epic. Poor Recruit Epic. He is no more. But now it's the members of the second. Regular FAP. And here come more drummers. So these guys now getting together with the all charge. Volunteer Scarlet. That funky drumming thing. And now you can see them all charging into the centre. As Polar murders Morgan. Where are they? We ask ourselves. There's quite a number there, I have to say. Look at this. A beacon is placed. Excellent. Aha. British versus Austrian. This time he has a musket on him with that long 17-inch bayonet. Going to be helpful. It's special prodders. And he's going in for a quick prod. Let's keep an eye out, see what's going on with this one. He's doing well. Oh, he's taken a slice from that sabre of the enemy, and down goes Prodders, courtesy of Robin. And here are the remaining members of the English army. Here's Tusurgan. As these guys now defend themselves. They picked up muskets with bayonets, give them that long reach. You've got these guys sneaking over on the left side. Volunteer Scarlet takes down, or gets taken down. Spectre also, Lance Corporal. And look at this. Nice stabbage going in here from Tusurgan. Defending himself against the attacks of 2 men. Fine melee work. Look at this. Oh, he gets 1 stab. And he's got the entire Austrian army after. And he's given one of them a prod. And he gets a kill. Until finally he's finished off. And we move on to the next round. We'll be right back. And we return to round number 2. We hear the clippity-clops of hoofs. There are clippity-clops around. Let's find what the equine toss pottery they're up to. Here they are. We fly the camera over to the horses of the 16th Hussars. Look at this. Thaddraw and friends making their way round the sand. Now, let's go and have a look in. Here, the first TRG. There's Clem making their way away from spawn. Let's see what happens, shall we? We're not seeing any enemy on the horizon. We're just going to fly up to this hill. See if we can get a general idea as to what's going on and where the enemy might be located. Look, there you can see in the center of the screen, cannon position, probably second cannon position. But it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen as you can see the cannonballs come flying in towards Cheesy Feet, as you can see. So poor old Cheesy Feet will now be resting his cheesy feet as minute 2 has not yet ticked over and he's already snuffed it. So poor old Cheesy. And here is Rominu of GC and also Major Henders. You can see these guys making their way out. Whoa, cannonball! As looks like Diatide just got taken down by Ragnar. Fine cannoneering from Ragnar. And now you can see the QOR with Colonel Valenditantor. So Val there taking pot shots at his enemy over the far side of that other hill. With the other members of the QOR getting themselves sorted. Riflemen from the 7th QR. And additional line troops from the 2nd Scottish. So, the 3rd foot, it's Cadet Fritz. Look out everyone, it's Fritz. And Howard so at the back. So, you can see the bullets flying around these guys as they're taking pot shots at what they see a very long line of tech spamming hoe bags. Yeah. So, here is the 2nd Private the Sneak. Oh, look at this. Child Predator. What a name and a half. Wow. Along with Coggle Cocksnoff, or Coggle Cogglesnoff. Sorry, there was cock there when it wasn't intended. Common problem. Mormasil and Cabbage, Peppermint Cabbage Patch. What a fine name. Private the Sneak. And there's Coggle at the back. So, these guys trying to fire back at the enemy. Listen to all that shrapnel bouncing around them. But they are supported on their left flanks by the likes of the 2nd, Corporal Dom there at one end, and Private Pons at the other. And these guys reforming themselves. It's the 1st ELVN. I'll just say the LVN, which is, no, actually, it looks like, yeah, LVN. It could be an L, could be a 1. We call it the LVN, it's easier. And here you can see, obviously, Peppermint Cabbage Patch moving out with his friends. But they're supported by quite a large number, except for this guy. This guy pretty much is Billy No Mates right now. It's Cogglesnoff. Sadly, nobody wants to snuggle with the Cogglesnoff or the Snogglecough. Never mind. So we can see now a little bit of swordsman action going in on the chat. Or the kill feed, I should say. So let's see if we can sniff around and find out where these guys are located. Oh, here we go. A little bit of 68th Artillery calisthenics. Got to keep your boys fit. Oh my goodness. It's the 68th Fort Derp. Courtesy of the artillery section of the 68th Regiment. So that's the thing. Is it a fort or is it a bunker? And for those of you wondering about the FIC, that is the firing in charge. As we make our way past the cannons. And cannonballs taking down members of the 1st Brigade 95th. And Turdless Sloth is down. Shot in the head by Ethan. Or Etan, sorry. Curly O'Connor of the 2nd. And the 1st Brigade 95th. That's Kidnapper. Number 2. Taking a little bit of a battering there. As we're looking at Dithan. And here is the cannon position of Frederick. Waiting. Oh, was this a little bit of fireage I heard? It is. Listen to that. Volunteer Scarlet of the 1st Brigade doing a wonderful job with probably my favourite fife tune in Napoleonic Wars. Wow, nice dodge, young lady. Yeah, don't mess with the musicians. Oh, god damn it, didn't even get a chance to finish it. Oh well. Away goes the cannon, but it looks like she's swapped that for a bit of engineering. So she's going to get the spade out and do the deed with the spade. And here is Val and the other members of the QR. And down here on the left are the Baker Riflemen from the 7th QR moving over to the left flank to see if they can do some evil over there maybe. We'll have to wait and see. So, here is the 1st TRG. And we're looking at the 2nd. And over on the left of the 2nd, there's the regular Knuckles, sorry. And checking it out is Peppermint Cabbage Patch. You can see a commanding officer there, Matuz. You can hear just that whistling noise of the cannonball. Could come over the hill at any moment and go splat into his face. Which would be kind of ironic. So, here they are. Well, aren't they just special? This is why you just can't take some people anywhere. I mean, there's Toz trying to build a fort to protect all the boys, and they're busy, I don't know, doing strange things behind the spikes. I suppose it's the equivalent of behind the bike sheds, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, look at this, the bunker. A fine bunkerage going in here, with plenty of defence. And the 68th Hussars in there. Corporal of Horse Bobu trying to get on the roof. Looks like a difficult move. So oh dear me. Macaroni and Cheese seems to be having a problem with what should be the spyglass, and then as you can see she's had a little bit of an accident there with the sword. So I think it's fair to say her eyesight might be a little bad out of the right eye. And Val gets taken down with the fine cannonball. Sorry, bullet shot I think it was. As we find out how things are looking. So it's 43 on the Austrian side, 67 on the British side. So the Austrians are in a severe state of trouble. So let's go and have a look. And here Ram Chang and other members, the 16th and the 2nd. So quite the ragtag mob there. Snagglecock. Benevolent Snagglecock. Not just any normal Snagglecock. This is benevolent Snagglecock. I know. So, these guys. Whoops-a-daisy. Down goes Silver K. And we're now watching Voluble Second Lieutenant make their way out now. The Snowy Snowflake 3638. Nearby Fort Derp. As it's being constantly readjusted and remade. Made stronger. Better. Harder. Faster. Okay. So you can see it needs work. There's no other way of putting it. I mean, it looks great. I mean, it's good. It's functional. But I think it needs some beautification. As Peppermint Cowboy Patch gets taken down. Mercenary Zimbabwe with a real face and a half, that one. Just glorious. Mercenary Daniel waiting by the defensive position. Volunteer Scarlet with some fife work. And it's all over. So, what happens now? We wait for them to wear down the numbers, but this could take a while. Especially as look at that 58 now on the on the UK side, and 55 on the ostriches. So they're slowly paring down the numbers of the British Army. And there goes a member of the Austrian. So we continue to fly the camera through between the sand dunes and over to Matus as we wait to see what he's planning to do. Well, continue walking, I think, is the general gist here. But we'll have to wait and see. As he pauses to cough, my apologies. There's Dutchy, checking through the spyglass at the enemy. And taking a pot shot at some of them. And Bjorken there with a fine cannonball kill. Onto Marksman Ghost. And here is Iggle Wiggle Snatch. Good God, sir, what a glorious name. And there's Chris JH. And of course, Yodel. Now, who are these moving up? So this is the second. Making their way behind one of these very important cliffy areas that will protect them from being horribly, horribly murdered. And here is O.C. William, commanding officer of the second. Now sorting out the boys. It looks like they've got a horsey man at the back. Yeah, he's been pushed away, at least for the time being. He is carrying the flag. And we move over here to see the engineering work of Child Predator. Fine aggressive engineering being done by Child Predator. Which, let's face it, based on his name, it's a good thing that he's doing this and not other things. So, under the circumstances, we approve of his current activities. So, looks like he's now supported by Bugs Bunny of the LVN. And over here, a small section of the second. Just supporting a little bit of extra fire. Supporting the man whose grave he is burying, or his grave he's digging, I should say. But look at that lovely wall of defense. Glorious stuff. It looks like he's trying to sort of prevent cannonballs coming round from that side, which would be rather nice. So, let's see. So, we may have to just briefly pause a Rooney because of things like space issues. Now, those space issues can be things like storage space on a hard drive. And yeah, it's just mildly annoying. But it is kind of taking a long while for this particular round to go on. So, what we're going to do, we're just going to have a look for this particular thing and move it all into there. No, I said copy and move, not copy. And then that should free up space on the main drive. So that will get copying away. And poor old Napoleon 06 has caught a bullet from Mercenary Scott. Oh dear. So this particular round's been going on nearly 15 minutes. An unusually long round for Napoleonic War. Has been very standoffish. Standoffish? It's been very standoff... Oh, God. Standoffish. As this guy now coming under a lot of fire as Child Predator gets shot by Kirk. As you can see now, these guys moving into a slightly more defensive position, if that were possible. Correction! Chris, shot out in the field, dies before he can get anywhere. And there's the all-charge, ladies and gentlemen, with 45 and 43. It's gonna get messy. And Bucks is going in, takes a bit of a stab. And watching Bucks defend himself against 3 men.
God save the king!
Here we go, watching him. Look at this. Fine defensive work. There's Julkan. And there's Bucks going in for the murderization. Fine work by Bucks. Another kill by Bucks. Blood-soaked uniform, forcing his opponent to flee. And now you can see other members of the 68th. Bucks coming in. Can he get that all-important stab? He's going for it. But his enemy may be wise to him. Continuing to run. Turns to fight. Blocks. Bucks fighting back. Gets a stab onto the enemy and finally dies. Courtesy of Julkan. And Colonel Sky of the 95th defends himself with a fine slice of the sabre against Julkan. And now working together against Bilbo. Fusilier gets diddled once, diddled twice, and taken down by Dom. And a leaving teabag for the enemy too as well. So, 34 versus 28, and there's a lot of Austrians. And now these guys here, yeah, look at them all circling. As there's the melee underway between the Brits and the Austrians. Getting involved with the stabby goodness. This gentleman with a very short sword. Almost a toothpick in comparison, and sadly for him it doesn't do the justice that it should have done.
God save the king!
Engineering work coming in from SPCZ. Picks up a rifle musket. And now he's in a position to do something with the bayonets. Look at this. The Austrians on the back foot. 10 Austrians, 15 United Kingdom. And this is their defensive position. This is what they're trying to do. They lose another one. Down goes Silas Vantor. And Sky and Leech Lord. Look at this. The Brits overwhelming the Austrians. There's one ostrich left. There's only one. He's now an endangered species. Where is the Austrian? There we go. Slain horribly. And the British win the round. We move on to the next one. And so, after one of those funky map change things, we're on a snow map. And it's cold as brass monkeys on this snow map. Sergeant Franston currently trying not to get frozen to his spyglass. And here, our old friend, the two-dimensional bird, gazing down upon the battle. As cannonballs bounce past us. Oh, look at that! Right in between those guys! That was so close. It could have been a lot worse at any moment for the 68th Lights. So, low-flying two-dimensional bird. And that wasn't so low-flying this time. As poor old Kiknos and Fusilier Little Cheese. And look at this. The furious teabagging begins. Who was that? That was Major Agriel. As Morgan of the 68th Lights and the other boys move out. So, here's Julkan. And let's see if we can find out what's going on as we see cavalry sniffing around. It's the Hussars, the 16th. Look at them being led by Captain Simon. And Montgomery's in there, and Mr. and Olaf. Master Boy, Daniel, Thaddraw. There's Walther. And more Thaddraw. Dan the Nugget. And yes, JB. So, poor old Epic is dead. Not as epic as he would like to have been. And oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I think Bilbo there, a little bit concerned about the cannonball which disappeared past his head. But now you can see the Brits attacking in force against these Austrians. The General Pinky is finished off. As now you can see Hermie, marksman of the 2nd, supported by the 2nd line. And you can see now the members of the 16th Hussars are claiming victims out there in the field. And here we are, over by the artillery section. Oh, down! Down goes the enemy. Poor old Fusilier Nico. And you can see Hunchback, mercenary for the 68th. Yar indeed. Oh my goodness, there's a sailor. It's Dinoza. Dinoza is in there from the 2nd. Gotta watch out for those rabid sailors, they're dangerous. And here is one of the Hussars who's lost his horse. Totaled his horse into a tree. And is now being shot. So you've got to watch out. Oh, can he get that horse and make a getaway? Will he be able to get to it in time? Or will the horse leave him behind? Oh, it's going downhill. This is the battle. There's an important battle here between Thaddraw and the horse. Come back, you bugger. Thaddraw trying to get that all-important horse to get back to safety. And he gets hit by one shot. And they're trying to take out Thaddraw. Can he get the horse? And he makes it. Thaddraw makes it onto a horse. And can now escape at high speed, as you can see. So, let's move over to Mood here, recruit of the 2nd. And the guys making their way over the hill under the command of William. And you can see cannons all over the place. And more important... Whoa! Speak of the devil and he shall appear. 3 members of the 2nd felled with a cannon shot. Fortuitous timing. As Duchy on the left-hand side, shooting back at the enemy. As here you can see defensive position for the cavalry, for the artillery, I should say. There's the derpy fort. Fort Derp. And the 68th Lights taking cover in the bunker. Fine bunker placement. And here the RRA 2nd Scots is Paul Q. And here they are shooting at the Austrians, now charging towards them. Corporal Dom. Athelstan gets finished off. And Duchy also murdered brutally. And here is Franson, Sergeant of the RRA, going in with a little bit of sword work. Sadly for him, failing. Here is Rolf, Elroof from the 68th Hussars. Trying to get that all-important murdering. Ouch! And barge to the floor on Pond. Or Ponds, I should say. So the horses now retreat. Henders, Major of the 1st TRG. And Irewolf getting together with the other members of the 68th Hussars. And cannonballs, whoa, Nelly, they're really on fire today. And here, QOR Cadet Edward. And you can see Random Horsey. And these guys defending the artillery position as the Austrians make their way up. to try and claim the prize. And here is Warwick, rifleman of the 2nd. They're being told to watch the spacing, you can see. A little bit too spaced out, by which means formation as opposed to smacked off their baps on some kind of strange mushroom, which they found somewhere in the snowy wastes. So, never mind. So these guys looking for an opportunity. As, look at that, fine shooting going in from Warwick and friends. And they're firing across the tundra, the snowy hills, into the artillery section. As down goes Dust Nugginator. And here come cannonballs. Oh dear. Over the top of Marksman Hunter from the QRH. Star Pirate Cadet of the QRR. And there is Val, Colonel of the QRR, holding the line against the attacking hordes of ostriches. Until he was killed with a cannonball, along with multiple members of his people. Poor old Val. Oh, bless. Oh, well, never mind. Such is life. And now, here is Marksman Ghost, along with Man Rifle Chip. Because it's all about the Man Rifle. And down goes another. Chris JH. Killed. And here you can see Volub. Or Voluble. And Warwick. And down goes Eagle Wiggle Snatch. Poor Eagle. He will no longer snatch his wiggle. Or wiggle his snatch. Okay, that sounded bad. Anyway, the rifleman and the lights trying to take pot shots. Let's see, 24 ostriches, 43 from the United Kingdom. And now they go in charging. As down goes poor old Peppermint Cabbage Patch. Marksman Hermie in with a rifle butt. Gonna see if he can pick up maybe a rifle musket. Get that 17-inch bayonet. No, he doesn't. Murdered, shot in the back. And these guys continuing to push forward. Star Pirate Cadet of QRR. Locked in mortal combat. Oh, fine stab, sir, into terror. As Warwick gets shot in the face by prodders. We shall follow Cadet Star Pirate as he goes up against another quarry. It's Mercenary Polka. And look at this, he's dodging out of the way, goes in for the quick stab, he gets a stab onto Polka. He's going for the second attack as quickly as he can. Can he get in? But no, he gets stabbed and he gets the kill! Star Pirate with the kill onto Polka. Now, he looks for another quarry. He's currently teamed in blood. Moves back to his teammates and the safety of numbers.
God save the king!
So, probably I would say, good chance of a promotion for Star Pirate with fine melee work. Man Rifle Chip. Taking a pot shot at the enemy. Could that be a cannonball incoming? As Paul Dillon, oh, the second guard. Taken down by Venice. The Cav forced to dismount. And it's the all charge. Look at this. Colonel Sky with a nice murder. Whoa, Nelly. Guy Rope catching a cannonball just at the last moment. And here is the melee that ends the round. And now the fighting persists. Look at this. Aquilia. Nice melee work here. Nice slice into his enemy. The Baker Rifleman's got that rifle musket with the extra 17-inch reach. And he's now being attacked by a second person. And down he goes, Aquilia, killed by prodders. We are following the cheesy feet of Cheesy Feet. And now you can see, oh, stabbed in the back, yeah, killed by Spectre, and a team kill onto Marksman Ghost to end the event. And down. Oh dear, good stuff. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the 68th Monday Line Battle. My thanks to all the regiments who attended. And for every member of the 68th, and of course to the admins, Mech, and to Norwegian, and the other members of the 68th for inviting me along. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I'll see you again for more Napoleonic Wars very soon. Take care, everyone. Cheerio, guys.